opportunities to innovate. You simply have to pay attention, and your opportunity is going to come. And I thought about growing up, and my dad, he siphoned a lot of gas in his day. And I went to the garage and I got a hose. And I was going to siphon it. But I remembered one thing my dad would always do after he got done starting the gas from coming through the hose. He sucked on the end of it to start it. And then he spent the next hour spitting. And I assumed it was because the gas didn't taste all that well. But now, looking back on it, I realized that he was a smoker and he probably just didn't want to blow himself up. But anyway, I thought, how can I get that gas started? And then I thought of our prized wedding gift. It was an Electrolux canister vacuum cleaner. I said, I'm going to hook that to the end of the hose. And that'll get it started, and I don't have to get any gas in my mouth. I went inside, I retrieved that vacuum cleaner, I stepped outside, hooked the hoses together, stood back, puffed out my chest, admired my work, and I bent down to hit that switch. And when I hit that switch, I'm telling you, there was a blast that would make the sonic boom sound like a bell choir. With space shuttle type flames, that canister vacuum cleaner rocketed across the driveway, through the neighbor's fence, over the Atlantic, narrowly missed Buckingham Palace, and slammed right into, well, at that time they called it the Straight Tower of Pisa. General Chamberlain was chosen to lead the Surrender of Arms Parade at Appomattox. On April 12, 1865, a little over 150 years ago, again on a day not unlike today, hazy and rainy, he assembled his troops in a line. And contrary to what you would believe, after a vicious, vicious war, he conducted that parade of arms. He called his troops to attention as the Confederate general rode up. Confederate general rode on his horse, his head slumped down, his shoulders slumped. He had been beaten. And General Chamberlain called his troops to attention. And then he called them to carry arms, which was a sign of respect. That Confederate general looked around. He heard the clank of all the rifles. Can you imagine the muskets being put up? Clank, clank, clank. And he looked at that sign of respect, and his shoulders got broad, his head got up, he raised his chin. He touched his horse with the spurs. The horse reared up, and then the horse bowed its head down. And the general took his sword and touched it towards his toe as a sign of surrender. I walked into this office, and I was fresh off the farm. It was a corner office with a view of Minneapolis, mahogany desk, a big couch, and leather chairs. Obviously, I was intimidated. I'm sure my jaw was dragging on the floor. And the guy sits down on the couch, leans over and said, "Well, Mel, what's your vision?" I said, "Me working?" And I left the office that day. Obviously, I didn't get that position. But I went to 2 other interviews, and by the time I hit that 3rd office, the mahogany never fazed me. The couch was no big deal. We sat down there in the leather chair. I rattled off a mission and vision statement. And over the next hour, I threw in a collaborative, a teamwork, and just for good measure, when I was leaving, I threw in a synergy. And I ended up getting that job, and I spent 13 years at PB Grain Company. It turned out to be great. It is Mother's Day, and I hate to bring this up, but mothers have issues too. Really. I mean, there's no book for it, right? There was a couple times, I know my older brothers, back when they were young, had a paint fight. That's when it was an oil-based paint. And I guess they were absolutely covered. Mom gave him a turpentine bat. Can you imagine how ugly that would be? But that's about the only way you get that off. I question that judgment. But anyway, another time, and I don't remember this particular incident, but she went and hid from us boys. She told us later, she was outside the window listening to us. And we were saying, where'd Mom go? So I was pretty young. So I don't know what my older brothers did then to really make her angry, but I know if I know myself that I was appalled by their behavior. Another time, we always had short hair as a kid. Just heinies. I don't remember when I started growing my hair long. But when I did, Mom said, Meldon, always leave bangs on your head. Because you got such a big forehead. You don't want to show it. So, thank God, a lot of it is like water off a duck's back. When I turned 50, I bought some gel and let her rip.